In this first set of problems, we're asked to find the GCF. And what does GCF mean? That means the greatest common factor. So we're going to take a look at these sets of numbers and check to see, well, what do they have in common? Okay, so we're going to take a look at the very first example. And it says 4x to the fifth and x cubed. Well, in this case, when you're talking about the greatest common factor, you're talking about those things that they have in common, of course. But when you're talking about exponents, when you're dealing with exponents, it's the one with the least amount of that exponent to give up. It's the one with the least amount of factors to give up. So it's kind of contradictory. So let's take a look at it. This has a 4 as a coefficient, and this has a 1 as a coefficient. So I have 4x to the fifth and 1x cubed. Well, 4 and 1, the only thing that has in common is 1. So we really have no number to write down. But if I notice, I have 5 x's here when I talk about it in terms of x to the fifth power, and here I have 3 since I have x cubed. So this one has 3 that it can give up. This one can give up 5. So the most that any one of them can give up without having a negative quantity, of course, is this one. So I can only give up 3. Okay, so my greatest common factor in this case is x cubed. Okay, so the GCF is x cubed. All right. Now it should be a little more apparent in the next example here how I'm doing this. Okay, it's not necessarily going to be one of the given quantities. Okay, in this case it just so happened to be. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. I notice first on all of the numbers, they're all multiples of 11. So I think my GCF is going to have to deal with something involving 11. 11 goes into every one of them, and it's the greatest common factor for all three. So I'm going to write out an 11. All right, now I'm looking at my x's. Here I have x to the fourth, x cubed, and x squared. Okay, well, the most that anyone can give up is this one, x squared. You see, this one has 3, this one has 4, but this one right here limits how many we can give up. So this is going to be part of our GCF. So this will be x squared. The least amount that can be given up is the greatest common factor in this case. Now we look at our y's. We have y cubed, y to the fifth, and we have y. Well, the most that any one of them can give up is 1. Okay, so my GCF here will be y. So my GCF for these three sets of terms here will simply be 11x squared y. So these are two examples, two really good examples of how to find the greatest common factor.